It seems like there's a new business model popping up only to vanish as quickly as it appeared. As we move closer to 2024, the employment landscape is shifting ever so rapidly. Advancements in AI and emerging technologies are putting many conventional jobs on the chopping block, pushing an entire generation into complete uncertainty. Yet at the exact same moment, there are regular people, not experts, not tech geniuses, but everyday people making more in a single month than some experts are making in an entire year. You clicked on this video because you want to be an action taker and you're interested in setting up a life of financial freedom. So make sure to listen up, because shortly I'll be introducing a unique online business model that has the potential to make 2024 a transformative year for you. But the best part is that it requires minimal amounts of initial capital. We're talking less than $50 with the potential to get you bank transfers that look like this within your first couple of months of starting out. And if you're thinking of skipping ahead or cutting this video short, the commitment of just a few minutes now could transform your financial journey forever. So I guess the choice is yours. But to reward those who stay till the end, I have a special opportunity and a little treat to give you guys. I put a lot of time into it, but I haven't disclosed this to anyone yet. You'll be the first to get exclusive access to it. Now let's get into it. But before you guys decide to listen any further, I do want to emphasize some critical points to keep things 100% clear with you. First of all, just because I'm, clearly not a genius or a superhuman and I've been able to find success, that doesn't automatically mean that everyone will. To me, it's extremely important to be as transparent with my community as possible, and that's exactly why I don't want you guys thinking that any lazy monkey with a brain is capable of building a thriving online business. After all, I do attribute a big chunk of my success to my relentless work ethic. I believe it's so important to have that ability to get things done, not necessarily because you want to, but because they need to be done. So while I can't guarantee this model will work for you, particularly if you guys lack the commitment or consistency from your end, what I can guarantee you is this. You're about to see real life examples of everyday people, much like you, who have rolled up their sleeves, committed, and built successful online businesses from scratch without any previous experience. Like Eric here, who was struggling to kickstart his entrepreneurial journey at the start of 2023, but after a few months of working together, by September, he's been able to consistently generate $100,000 a month with his brand with an impressive 45 to 50% profit margin. But what's even crazier is that he just hit $1 million in revenue this November, and on Black Friday through Cyber Monday, he did $90,000 in 4 days. And the consistency of his brand speaks for itself, as you can see from the screenshots. Then there's Ryan. Before March, he had never even tried this business model at all. Fast forward to September, and he's already hit $500,000 in revenue, which is a massive milestone in our community. And his business is still on fast track for even greater success. Now, for those new here, my name is Andy Starring. I went from a jobless and broke university student with no real path just 4 years ago to generating over 7 figures with my online businesses, all the while traveling to 45 plus countries. Not to mention that was completely for free by simply using rewards points accumulated from running the business that I will discuss later on, to buying my first home, but most importantly, finding a purpose and direction in life. And if you're finally looking for a legitimate business model that will allow you to achieve financial, location, and time freedom without the headaches of demanding clients, having to invest thousands upon thousands of dollars of upfront inventory, or even payment process rules and account bans, then you stumbled upon the exact video you never knew you needed. Within this short video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how everyday people are creating opportunity with a framework that, when properly executed, can open the door of endless opportunity, and how you can do exactly the same. This isn't just another fleeting trend, it's a solid strategy backed by tangible results. In today's diverse digital marketplace, there's no shortage of business models to think about trying out yourself. While there's so many of them that can generate you a boatload of cash, how do we determine if any of these options are viable for you and whether or not they will stand the test of time? That's why I've outlined a set of criteria to help you evaluate different business models. And this criteria will help determine if said model can, 1, establish a legitimate presence in a thriving industry, and 2, generate consistent profits. The first set of criteria is startup capital, which is basically just how much money is required to kickstart and run the business. The second one is market demand, which relates to the number of people who actually want what you're selling. Is there a genuine need for the product or service? If there's a high demand, then that's a good thing. The third one is profitability, which is the amount of money you have left after deducting all expenses. aka your net profit. The fourth one is fulfillment, which is how easy it is to deliver the product or service to the buyer after they have made that purchase from you. The fifth one is scalability, which means does your business have the potential to grow exponentially? And last but not least, long-term potential, or the longevity aspect. This refers to whether the business model has the capability to consistently generate money over the long run, or if it's considered evergreen. Now, I've created a chart that compares the most popular business models people are talking about right now, and I'll be using this criteria I just listed to effectively rank them. The models that made it to the list are affiliate marketing, dropshipping, Amazon FBA, the agency model, and the golden standard model. And of course, the golden standard model is the one I believe to hold the most promise for those serious about building a successful and thriving business. So let's start with affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is a performance-based marketing strategy where people promote products or different services of others and earn a commission on sales generated through their unique referral link. Now, whenever you're on TikTok and you come across someone reviewing a product with the visible text eligible for commission, near that caption area, that's exactly what we're talking about. You see, creators receive a percentage of the order value of every sale that has been tracked through their link. And some examples of affiliate programs are ClickBank, Amazon Associates, and TikTok Shop for creators. So onto the startup costs. You can start with the minimal cost for a website and a domain, but the marketing strategy may be variable depending on whether or not you plan to run ads or solely focus on creating organic content. For the sake of this discussion, let's just assume that you'd go ahead and take the organic route. So by using TikTok or Amazon, the only significant initial investment will be the product itself, which you'd be using to film your review-based videos. So the cost is likely going to be less than $50. Let's allocate $50 for this on our chart. The market demand depends on the products or niches you choose. Now, of course, if you choose a super popular niche, you're going to have a high demand, while a less popular niche will have a lower demand. So it all depends on the products you promote and the effectiveness within your niche. With that being said, the market demand is variable. Profitability depends on the products you promote, the effectiveness of your marketing, and the agreed upon commission rate. But typically those commission rates range from 10 to 30%. The fulfillment is relatively straightforward. You don't handle fulfillment yourself, but the success of it depends on the quality and reliability of your affiliate programs that you choose. This means you have no control over how they operate their business, like the shipping speed, product quality, etc. Other than that, the fulfillment is pretty easy. The scalability of affiliate marketing is high. This model is completely and entirely performance-based, so if you promote a product and happen to create a viral video that results in thousands of sales, well, you earn a bunch of commissions that just become money in your bank account. And as far as the longevity of this business model, you have to keep in mind that the success relies on your ability to maintain your online presence. And as I said before, you have no control over the back-end operations of those companies that you work with and their ongoing relevance. So the longevity factor is transitional. Now onto a model that many of you are probably already familiar with, and that's dropshipping. And dropshipping is a retail fulfillment method that eliminates the need to purchase products up front or keep them in stock. So instead you partner with third-party suppliers. And more than likely, this is just going to be AliExpress agents from China who will handle the inventory and shipping on your behalf as soon as you receive an online order on your website. You pay the AliExpress wholesale price per each sold unit while you charge your own retail price, essentially just acting as the middleman. When it comes to the initial startup costs, you don't have to worry about purchasing any upfront inventory, and you won't have to spend much on building your website. The only substantial cost you'll incur is paid advertising, and that's making your storefront visible to the right people who want to purchase your product, which you'll need to allocate at least $300 to if you plan to run ads. Now you could hypothetically order the product that you want to sell, create your own content, and make TikToks and Instagram Reels to go viral, which will allow you to convert that virality into revenue, and ordering the product will generally cost you less than $50. But remember, you're not buying any upfront inventory, which does in fact reduce your risk, but at the same time, it also means that your profit margins are going to be a little bit slimmer because you're not buying in bulk quantities, but paying that listing price set by AliExpress agents. But on the bright side, e-commerce has not only witnessed an upward trajectory for years, but it also continued to thrive even in the face of adversity. One of the main reasons for its success is the convenience that online shopping provides. We all know that being able to shop from the comfort of our home is pretty damn awesome. And as a result of this simplicity and accessibility of shopping, people end up spending a lot more money online. Just look at what happened during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And as a result of this simplicity and accessibility of shopping, people end up spending a lot more money online. Luckily for dropshipping, it has been able to take advantage of this increasing demand. Dropshipping's profitability tends to vary on the way you conduct your online store, but on average, expect margins between 10 to 20%. In order to get people to see your website, most of the time you're just going to need to run ads, so that's going to be the biggest cost you'll incur. Also, most people don't mention this, but the competitive nature of dropshipping can result in a downward spiral in terms of pricing, basically a price war with other people selling the exact same thing. This is because of the commoditization of products. If you fail to differentiate from the competition, it's going to cause your profit margin to gradually shrink. Now, in terms of the fulfillment, a major perk of dropshipping is the hands-off approach to fulfillment. So your suppliers handle the product storage, packing, and the shipping. Therefore, the fulfillment process is easy. Scalability in dropshipping is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're not limited by the inventory or the storage. The media buying platforms like Facebook and TikTok allow for increasing campaign budgets to reach a massive audience and make you a lot of money, but a lot of the times it's not sustainable since Facebook tends to ban ad accounts of a lot of dropshipping stores, along with payment processors holding money from those high-risk accounts. This was a massive risk for me when I started dropshipping 4 years ago. I remember everything was going great on my store. I was scaling my Facebook ads and consistently doing $10,000 in a single day, to out of nowhere, Facebook banning my ad accounts and PayPal holding tens of thousands of dollars from me for over 6 months. And this is why dropshipping has such a bad reputation, because technically you could scale your dropshipping business, but it is very likely that you're going to encounter those obstacles that prevent you from further scaling the business. That's why I consider the scalability of dropshipping to be variable. Onto the longevity of dropshipping. So the model itself is accessible, but it's just not a sustainable one for a number of reasons. First off, by selling the same product forever, the market could quickly become saturated with other dropshippers offering similar or identical products. And two, dropshipping is seen as a low quality service due to its notorious long shipping times and poor product quality. So with all that being said, it is clear that dropshipping is a short-term business model. The next online business model opportunity is Amazon FBA, which is a service provided by Amazon where they store, pack, and ship products on behalf of its sellers. Instead of creating a website and paying developers, you can sell directly on Amazon, and Amazon also handles the customer service and the returns, allowing sellers to solely focus on product listings and marketing. But the startup capital is often seen as a high risk in this model, because even before knowing whether or not the product that you want to sell works for you, you are required to pre-purchase and ship inventory to Amazon's fulfillment centers in bulk quantities. So although you may be able to obtain competitive pricing by purchasing in these bulk quantities from your supplier in China, you will have to invest thousands upon thousands of dollars into this product, making the minimum startup capital required $5,000. So as I mentioned earlier with dropshipping, the e-commerce industry has experienced that massive boom with the rise of online shopping in recent years. And Amazon, being a dominant e-commerce platform with a massive customer base, makes this business opportunity high in demand. Onto the profitability, in reference to my brand, we utilize Amazon FBA and run Amazon ads, both of which incur costs. The downside that I noticed from FBA is that they charge a significant fee of around 20 to 25% for each order. Yes, this does cover the fulfillment, but our listings also offer Prime same-day, one-day, and two-day shipping options, which are free for customers. As a result, you basically have to eat those shipping fees as well as any returns from customers, which could be a lot given Amazon's super lenient return policy. So the profitability for Amazon FBA falls between 10 to 20% as well. But the nice thing is that the fulfillment of Amazon FBA is very easy because they handle the packaging and the shipping, making the process pretty much seamless. Scaling an Amazon FBA business becomes very attainable with Amazon ad campaigns, utilizing affiliates, and as you accumulate a bunch of positive reviews. So the scalability of this model is high. Now, what you may notice with Amazon is that the products listed there are more or less pretty similar for each specific item. Like you probably heard Amazon Finds or Amazon Gadgets. And because of this, it can lead to commoditization, which I mentioned earlier, which means sellers are competing primarily on the price rather than the unique features or the quality of the product, which then results in the price eventually falling so low that it becomes difficult to maintain profitability. So unless you register your trademark with Amazon and you're able to approve your own custom products along with continuously expanding upon your product line, it's going to be very hard to achieve longevity. In order to survive, you need to find a way to differentiate yourself after a certain point. Therefore, the longevity is transitional. The fourth online business opportunity is the agency model. In this model, you reach out to people who need services like advertising, email marketing, or video editing. And of course, you could provide a range of different services based on a particular skill set. But if you don't have a particular skill set, you could hypothetically hire talent overseas like many agencies do anyway, and act as that middleman while providing service. To begin, you can start by selling your time and then hire out people after you've been able to secure your client. Or you could even hire people once you've already obtained your first client and ask for that upfront payment. So this business model requires a low upfront cost. Let's just allocate $25. Now, in terms of the demand, it really just depends on the services you offer, your personal skill sets, and your target clients. But you do have control over the services you plan to offer if you outsource talent. So because of the uncertainty of your skill set and the ability to choose a niche and hire, will rank the demand as a variable. But probably where agencies receive the most praise is for their profit margins, which could be pretty high. But the profit margins depend on certain factors, such as whether or not you trade your time for money or if you hire talent from elsewhere, along with the amount that you need to pay them. Therefore, the profit margin with agencies typically ranges from 40 to 60%. But in my opinion, where agencies tend to experience the biggest downfall is the fulfillment process. Managing client relationships and service delivery is so important, and not to mention can be extremely stressful. When you onboard clients, you'll obviously want to retain them and make sure that they continue to pay you on a monthly basis. And this can only be achieved by consistently delivering results that they are satisfied with. Now, having one person to consistently tend to could be extremely difficult, and as you add client after client, the workload only gets worse. And I highly doubt that you're the only person that is offering this service with your specific skill set, so you need to ensure that your performance is always at its best. With that said, the fulfillment process is extremely hard. Now let's consider the scalability. If you're running ads to your agency funnel instead of simply cold outreach, you have the potential to acquire a bunch of clients. And a quick side note, if you are running ads, you'll have to pay for them, so your profit margin ends up going down. But as I mentioned earlier, regarding the fulfillment process, managing a massive onboard of new clients could be exhausting. Therefore, I would rate the scalability as a variable. And as far as the longevity of this model, remember your performance is in direct relation to how long your clients want to keep you. If you perform well in the first months but are unable to deliver results thereafter, the harsh reality is that most businesses operate with no emotions, and they are more than likely to go find someone capable of actually delivering results. Long-term success relies on maintaining good relationships with clients and continuously delivering value. So once again, this one is variable. Now, if there were a perfect business model to pursue, what would it actually look like? First and foremost, an ideal business model wouldn't require a ton of money up front. We want everyone, no matter their financial situation, to have the opportunity to start. That means that even if you're light on cash, the model would still be within reach and you could even give it a try. And as far as the demand, we can agree that the best business models tap into a market with a strong demand. Simply put, it should offer something people really want or need. The more people desiring your product or service, the better. From a profitability perspective, the ideal model would allow for substantial profit margins, meaning you'd earn a good amount for every sale without a super high cost cutting into your earnings. Then after making a sale, we aim for a seamless fulfillment. The process to deliver the product or service should be smooth and hassle-free. You don't want to be bogged down with friction and tedious steps, since it's important to keep both you and your customers happy. And as your business grows, your model should be able to grow with it. This means being able to serve more customers or expand to new markets without huge changes or extra costs. We're shooting for the potential of exponential growth. Finally, the perfect business model should stand the test of time. It should offer a product or service that won't just be a passing trend, but will remain relevant and in demand for years to come. You can think evergreen. All right, now that all the sets of criteria have been hashed out, based on my own personal experience, I can confidently say that there is one online business model that stands out from the rest. I call it niche branded dropshipping, or NBD. Now you might be thinking, Andy, didn't you just talk about dropshipping as an unsustainable business model? Well, that's true, I did. But niche branded dropshipping is completely different from traditional dropshipping that we all know. You see, it's not just about selling products, it's about building a brand, cultivating an identity, and carving out a niche. Unlike traditional dropshipping, where products are, for the most part, sourced from common suppliers, which results in a completely saturated marketplace, niche branded dropshipping focuses on building a distinctive brand identity within a passionate niche or community backing. This involves creating your own unique products, custom packaging, and brand-specific marketing. This emphasis is not only on what you're selling, but also how you present and market it. And you can just think of any of these massive brands that we see today, like Gymshark, Sephora, Nike, Kylie Cosmetics. They all have their own unique brand identity. Dropshipping also frequently experiences a lack of repeat customers because of its generic nature. But in NBD, by providing consistent quality and building brand recognition, there is a much higher chance of customers returning, which means a more predictable revenue stream. And one of the main pitfalls of dropshipping is the heavy reliance on third-party suppliers, which can sometimes compromise on the product quality. But stores that use the NBD method work a lot closer with suppliers and possibly the manufacturers to ensure that the products align with the brand standards and their future vision. As you're selling under a unique brand name, you have more flexibility in setting your own pricing compared to traditional dropshipping. In traditional dropshipping, competition can drive prices so low that the profit margins become very slim, as we spoke about commoditization concept. Branded products, on the other hand, are often priced higher because they are perceived to have a greater value. Just think about it. You can ask yourself, when you're shopping, do you want to buy a product that comes in a white box with Chinese words on it? Or do you want one that has nice design and that company's logo on it? I think that should be a rhetorical question. But on top of that, having a legitimate brand increases the likelihood of content creators being willing to collaborate with you. Because as an established brand, you are more appealing than a random kid who is dropshipping products ripped from AliExpress. So this could lead to securing more revenue share deals where content creators receive a commission based on revenue that they generate, which can be insanely profitable. Niche branded dropshipping is an evergreen business model because unlike traditional dropshipping, which relies on trends, a well-established brand can withstand market fluctuations a lot more effectively since it's not solely dependent on a TikTok trend. Now, as you start to see growth, you can start to work towards building a legitimate e-commerce brand. With this comes the flexibility to diversify into different products or even venture into different business models, all the while retaining the brand's identity. This opens up avenues for growth that traditional dropshipping does not offer. Remember when I mentioned that I scaled my dropshipping business to over $10,000 per day only to get banned and have my money on hold from PayPal? Yeah, well, that's just the nature of a majority of dropshipping businesses. It's due to long shipping times and poor product quality. And to be honest, it wasn't until that exact scenario happened that it made me completely fed up with the headache of creating a store, finding a winning product, scaling it to the moon, being so happy for a week, and then getting it shut down. As a result, my Facebook ad account has been permanently banned. Certain credit cards I have are blacklisted from Facebook, and my PayPal account is subject to automatic holds. So I'm basically forced to use my family members for usable accounts to run ads. But from that point, I realized that dropshipping was still a great business model because I was able to make a bunch of money really quickly, and it didn't require me to invest a ton or pre-purchase any inventory. And not only that, the e-commerce industry is booming with clear long-term potential. It's projected to reach $6 trillion in online sales this year alone. So how can I leverage the benefits of both? That's when I stumbled upon niche branded dropshipping as a method to differentiate myself from competitors. With my own e-commerce brand, I've been able to consistently generate revenue by trademarking my business, expanding onto different marketplaces like Amazon FBA, offering 1 to 3 day US shipping times, wholesaling, creating my own custom products, and adding custom packaging. Now, because of this, I can charge 3 to 4 times my competition for the value that I provide. And of course, I've chosen to work directly with my manufacturer instead of using AliExpress. While the foundational principle might seem similar, branded dropshipping elevates the game. It combines the flexibility and low startup costs of dropshipping with the stability and growth potential of a dedicated brand. This is the golden standard business model. Although this model can be life-changing, as it was for Eric and Ryan, it's not a guaranteed success for everyone. Many people falter because they lack the right guidance, dive in without enough market research, or simply underestimate the dedication and resilience required to thrive in a competitive e-commerce landscape. Now you might be wondering, how can I start this unique business model and build an evergreen e-commerce brand? Well, that's precisely why I've meticulously crafted these 5 key phases outlining the vital steps needed to construct a sustainable e-commerce brand in the most streamlined and effective way possible. I call it the 5 quintessential phases to building an evergreen brand in 12 weeks. Here's what it looks like: foundation, assembly, validity, branding, and the relaunch. When this methodology is followed properly, you're on the right track to creating a thriving e-commerce business within a passionate community. This business will provide values to its customers and as a result, generate consistent revenue, giving you the freedom to run it from basically anywhere in the world. All right, let's get into phase one, the foundation. This is where you need to select the products you're going to sell and determine the niche that you'll be operating in. We'll start with choosing your product. Now, the biggest mistake I see with beginners trying to enter this space is that they try to sell something that they personally are interested in. And don't worry, I get it. It sounds super intuitive, but what you need to understand is that it's not always the best approach. For example, I love surfing, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to start a business selling surf equipment. You need to consider the market and determine if there is a demand for your product. Here are some things that I think about when selling a product. The product should have a clear wow factor, whether that be solving a prevalent problem, which covers problem solving wow factor, or captivating people visually, which would be visual wow factor. Next, it's super important for the product to be focused on a specific niche that has a passionate community. This guarantees a pre-existing audience that is enthusiastic, and enthusiasm and emotion is what sells. And if these people connect with your brand, there's a good chance they'll want to make repeat purchases and share their experience with their friends. This not only increases the LTV, or the lifetime value per customer, but it also generates positive word of mouth. There should also be plenty of opportunities to create diverse and engaging content around this product. We already witness this every day with many ad platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, which heavily rely on user-generated content, which is like iPhone filmed review type of videos. And finally, make sure that the product is not oversaturated with the product. You don't want to be selling what everyone and their mom is. So you can check the presence of a specific product by typing the name of it on Google and checking the shopping feature along with TikTok videos and see how many accounts are dedicating their entire page to promoting that product. Now with the criteria in mind, you're ready to go hunting. But where can we find products? Well, there's several ways, but what has been most effective for me and my students is simply the following. To use TikTok as a research tool, so head into the search tab and type the hashtag TikTok made me buy it, TikTok products, and TikTok shop. Then apply filters for the past 24 hours and this week to see which videos are currently going viral. The logic here is that if these accounts are creating content about this product and they're going viral with a clear interest shown within the view counts or people in the comments section, then that's what we're going to plan to emulate, then eventually elevate. But at the same time, you're not exactly just searching for viral products. Instead, you're looking for videos that have gone viral, but also resonate within a specific and passionate niche. And this allows you to foster a community within that niche. Some good examples of passion niches that have a crazy community backings could be like anime, cosplay, ultra marathon runners, and exotic pet owners, just to name a few. But remember, while sifting through these products, always keep in mind the criteria we've discussed. I recommend organizing your products onto a document so that you can rank your top 5 products that you found. And I've left my product list organization sheet that I personally use for my research in the description for anyone that would find it useful, and it is completely for free. I would say that phase 1 is the most crucial phase of all. If you can compromise on a solid product that is backed with results and fully fits the criteria that we just discussed, you'll be in a really good position. But that's all for phase 1. Let's move on. Now phase 2, the assembly. This is where the vision comes to life. Having selected your product, the next steps are crucial for setting up the foundation of your business. We start with naming your brand. I recommend choosing a brand name that is versatile enough to accommodate pivoting to different niches, while also having the potential to become an actual brand if the store does do well. Names like Zara and Shein showcase this concept pretty effectively. I like to even use ChatGPT or Namelix for inspiration. Now for ChatGPT, you can provide it a prompt like this. Create a general store name like Zara or Shein that is broad and not constrained to any specific niche, but still brandable and catchy. So you can copy and paste that to see what it comes up with. Once you've selected a brand name, you will need to purchase an available domain, which is that .com URL that you would go ahead and connect to your Shopify store under the domain settings tab. This should only cost you no more than $12. The next step is to build a website to showcase your product. For beginners or even for people that are advanced, I always recommend using Shopify. In my opinion, it's the most user-friendly platform and offers a bunch of different apps that'll help you optimize your store later down the road. Now, when you're setting up your store, it's going to be in your best interest to look at competitors. What does their website layout look like? How have they organized their product page? Emulate, but don't directly copy. So you can take inspiration and incorporate ideas ideas from different competitors within your niche. For Shopify themes, some really nice ones are Refresh, Sense, and Dawn, but what I'm using right now is Debutify. Tip of advice, if there is one place on your website where you should focus all of your attention to, it's going to be your product page. And that's because a majority of your traffic is going to be directed there, since that's where they're going to have the chance to buy. So make sure that you write product descriptions that sell. Instead of just focusing on features, emphasize the benefits. Always ensure that you have clear, high quality images that showcase the product from different angles. I like to even add GIFs in there to properly showcase the product. And you can even use ChatGPT to create the product descriptions by gathering as much info as you can about the product and basically just feeding it to ChatGPT. Then prompt the AI to generate an interactive yet informative product description for your product. This works wonders. I do this all the time for all my stores. Once your store is set up, you're ready to start the content creation process to attract eyeballs to your beautifully crafted website you just built. But what's the first step in doing so? We have a few options, and this really depends on your budget. Option 1 consists of using a paid editing service to create videos for you without having to actually purchase the product yourself. But your cost will be to pay the video editing service for each individual video, so this one is more for convenience. Option number 2, you can also hire an influencer and pay them to create engaging user-generated content for you. Your cost is going to include paying the influencer as well as the cost of the product itself. And this one could be expensive since you're paying someone to create custom content for you. And lastly, for option number 3, you can order the product yourself, film your own videos, and make your own edits. The only cost involved is the product itself plus your time. But let's assume that you plan to do the most budget-friendly way, which would be the last one. So for option number 3, ordering the product does a couple of things for you. First off, it allows you to test the quality. So make sure that it meets the standards you're aiming for, because you never want to be selling a product that is bad quality or doesn't function as intended. Secondly, it provides the opportunity for content creation. So you can take your own photos and videos to use for your ads. This would be a good idea because authentic content tends to resonate better with people compared to stock images or random content surfacing the internet. To receive the product, you can choose to order it from AliExpress and have it shipped to your address, or since that might take a little bit longer because you'd likely be getting it from China, you can check Amazon to see if you can get it for Prime delivery, which would obviously be a lot quicker. Now, after receiving the product, you need to create multiple videos that effectively showcase the product from different angles and perspectives. Basically, just try and get as much raw content as you can. A super useful tip is to study viral videos from competitors and recreate those same videos using your own content that you just filmed. And even try to pay attention to the small little details like the duration of the video, the different camera angles, and even the sound or song that they use. The goal here is to replicate successful videos within your niche as closely as possible, since they've already proven to resonate with an audience. And some good free editing softwares are CapCut, TikTok's editor, and Instagram's editor. Once the videos have been created, you want to create a dedicated TikTok and Instagram page for your brand. But don't forget to add the store URL in your bio so people know where to get the product. Now let me show you how to effectively drive traffic to your website using the ads you've just created for your product in phase 2. Phase 3, validity. A successful product is only half the battle won. Let's take a moment to think about how reputable e-commerce brands approach advertising. Well, most of you guys might be seeing advertisements on billboards, Google, or social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. But keep in mind, these big companies have massive budgets that they can allocate to paid advertising platforms. So what they often do is create social media accounts for their brands and use paid ads. For example, Nike uses Meta's Ads Manager to create campaigns to target specific individuals who are most likely to make purchases based on their interests, demographics, or even their behaviors. They create ads in the form of videos, images, or even carousels to showcase products that are most likely to interest their target audience. Then the ads direct people to Nike's website where they can purchase the products. And I'll guarantee you these big companies like Nike are allocating tens of thousands of dollars every single day to running these exact campaigns. They work, but they also work because of the data that they've been able to accumulate over time. You see, the more data you have, the more efficient your ads will run, and the more efficient your ads run, the more money you'll make. Instead of allocating a large budget to paid ads initially, we're gonna focus on creating user-generated content and then post it organically onto platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels to go viral, accumulate that data, and then transition into paid ads for consistency. So to increase your chances of the algorithm working in your favor, you'll want to post at least 2-3 times a day for the next 3 to 4 weeks. If a video showcasing your product goes viral and you have attached that link in bio, you have the potential to make tens of thousands of dollars with a single post from only the investment of less than 50 bucks. I'd say that's a pretty good ROI, and you'll see branded accounts doing this all the time when you're on TikTok or Instagram. I've had a single organic TikTok post make my brand over $50,000 in a span of 3 days. But before launching your store, you'll want to set up your Facebook pixel and your TikTok pixel, which are super important pieces of code that are going to be linked on your store's backend. With a properly installed pixel tracking system, you'll be able to accumulate a bunch of data that you can then go ahead and utilize in your favor later down the road. And as I mentioned, it's a lot more difficult to profitably run ads without any prior accumulated data. Now you want to listen carefully, because performing these steps properly in phase 3 will set you up for the subsequent phases. So your pixels have been seasoned with data from your viral videos. You have effectively conducted tests for potential winning ad creatives. This is where things are about to get fun. In order to ensure consistency, we'll aim to create a conversion-based TikTok ad that specifically targets individuals who are likely to make purchases from your store based on their interests. So for example, if you're selling gym related products, it'll be most fitting to pick interests like Gymshark, Nike, 24-hour fitness, weightlifting, and so on. From there, you want to repurpose those viral videos that were posted organically onto your paid TikTok ad campaign. And the reason being is that if the video has already proven to go viral organically, there's a good chance that it'll perform well when running paid ads. And the idea here is that paid ads offer the consistency we're looking for in terms of results. And that is, of course, once you have identified your ideal audience. But at this time, as you're seeing results, it might seem tempting to fall victim to greed and want to just increase your ad campaign budgets and scale to the moon, because those numbers on your screen look so nice. But trust me from experience, it is important to be patient. Scaling to the moon without proper systems in place can potentially lead to the same issues that the traditional dropshipping model is notorious for, like the banned ad accounts, customer complaints, and those payment processor holds. One of my students, Sub, is actively exercising patience. He has now transitioned to paid ads and has been achieving a very profitable return on ad spend. Now, while it might be tempting to just increase his daily ad budgets and scale quickly, he understands the importance of establishing these systems that we'll discuss in the next phases. These systems will ensure that he's able to achieve consistent success in the right manner rather than giving in to short-term greed. Now that you have effectively tested your product and proven that it is a winner, as well as generate a bit of profit, what are these systems that I'm referring to? Well, phase 4 is the branding phase. Remember how we discussed the importance of testing and validating our product? Now, with that, we've been able to make a little bit of money and validate the product. It's time to take our efforts to the next level into what I like to call the legitimacy pillars. So instead of simply selling a product, let's focus on selling an experience, a story, and an identity. Think about it. The brands that you remember and return to are the ones that have the story to tell and a group of people to connect with. And that's exactly what we're aiming for. First off, let's cut out that middleman, aka your AliExpress agent or your listing that you're using. And by partnering directly with manufacturers, not only are you going to get better pricing by buying in bulk quantities, but also you'll have the opportunity to enhance the product quality and make your own custom products. As your orders grow, managing fulfillment with long shipping times can be crazy and chaotic. So the solution is utilizing a third-party logistics provider, aka a 3PL, which not only automates the process for you, but also makes sure your customers receive their orders within a few days. And this is very important. And by limiting one of the biggest pitfalls of dropshipping, this action strengthens your brand's reputation in the eyes of your customer. So imagine your customers, 1, getting their product within a week, and 2, having your custom packaging that screams your brand all over it. What this does is immediately increases the perceived value of your product and your company. But our branding doesn't just stop at the packaging and fast shipping times. Your online presence is equally important. So you want to invest a little bit in a solid graphic designer to mock up the visuals that resonate with your brand story. And on top of that, hire a good website developer to customize and optimize the shopping experience. And this will help increase the conversion rate, as more people will end up making purchases on your website. So it's kind of like a win-win. Do you see why, as we clearly examine these steps, this is achievable for anyone? It doesn't matter where you're from or whether or not English is your first language or not. Even guys like Vinny from Hungary, who is one of my students that I've been working one-on-one with, has been able to secure an influencer on a revenue share deal. This influencer posted a video that generated over $3,800 revenue from a single post from only a 4-day period. This was his way to get his foot in the door, and now 7 days into December, he's already done $8,000 in revenue. It's absolutely crazy, and I am so stoked for him. Okay, here's where we'll want to safeguard your brand by forming an LLC. It provides a protective shield to personal assets and also paves the way to potential tax advantages. Now let's not forget about the power of trademarking to secure brand against people that are trying to copy your business. But as we grow, let's make sure to maintain our customer first approach. You'll want to hire virtual assistants or VAs who will be the frontline warriors managing customer service and taking care of the tedious work while you can work and focus on the high-level conceptual tasks. One important thing to realize is that you cannot do everything. In order for the business to grow exponentially, at some point you must start hiring. I recommend hiring in South America, or you could even do the Philippines, since their English is still really great, but they'll charge you a fraction of what someone in the US would. You see, the essence of branding goes way beyond just a logo or a tagline. It's about the promises you make and consistently deliver upon. Now with that done, we can finally move on to the last but certainly not least phase 5, the relaunch. This is where every single effort, every minute spent, every strategy implemented comes together to create a sustainable business model. You're not just another dropshipper, but you have developed a unique value proposition to offer customers. Now that you've built a concrete foundation in the earlier phases, this is the time to unveil your revamped brand to the world. Think of it like launching a rocket. The first 4 phases were about building, testing, and fueling it, and now it's time for liftoff. Relaunching is about reintroducing your brand. It's a strategic approach that combines your enhanced brand image, seamless logistics, and top-notch product, aiming for a great market impact. As we spoke about earlier, many dropshippers face banned Facebook ad accounts, deal with poor product quality, suffer from high rate of returns, and struggle with payment processor holds. But not you. Here's how phase 5 ensures you avoid these pitfalls. Step 1, let's put those content creators into action. Send your revamped products in your beautiful custom packaging. Then ask them to create content around your product, showcasing the packaging within those videos. This will provide social proof of your brand and differentiate you from all the other people that are dropshipping. While your content creators follow the protocol and post their videos on TikTok and Instagram Reels, we convert those videos into our own advertising arsenal. During the testing phase, running ads wasn't just to make a little bit of money, it laid the foundation of our work by helping us identify successful interests and our target audiences. With the new content and data-driven insights, we can create ad campaigns that we can run with confidence that they'll do well. And once things start to work in our favor, we can continue moving forward, scaling and innovating. We enter new markets and expand our brand's portfolio with new products. But now as we scale, we no longer encounter those initial issues because we have efficiently established systems that set us up for success. Our focus on providing value and prioritizing our customer played a massive role in this. The relaunch is a revolution against the pitfalls of traditional dropshipping, and by no means is it speculative. It's a testament to a method that works with concrete results. Take Rohan, for instance. He put this strategy into action, and within a few weeks, he experienced a significant increase in sales, improved brand loyalty, and was able to gain recognition, hitting a massive milestone of $400,000 in revenue on his brand. By following these steps and establishing the right systems, the sky is truly the limit. While there is a massive demand for specialized niche products, there is a shortage of savvy entrepreneurs who can bridge this gap. And no, I'm not referring to those random kids that are dropshipping on TikTok as their sole and only business model. For those who have the foresight and agility, there is an unprecedented opportunity to enter and benefit from this rapidly growing sector. So the pressing question isn't about the potential of niche branded dropshipping that's evident. The real question is, how can you replicate the success of numerous individuals who have transformed this model into their e-commerce powerhouse? How can you establish your own distinct presence in this field and ride the wave of the new era of digital retail? Well, you have 2 options. Option number 1 is to use the detailed information I've provided in this video. Then you can go ahead and conduct your own research and absorb as much knowledge as possible before starting. But I can guarantee that this is the most efficient approach, as it took me 4 years of highs and lows to reach my current level after losing tens of thousands of dollars and experiencing numerous failures. I'm not saying that this is the impossible route, but it'll be pretty tedious to sift through all the outdated and insufficient information in order to effectively learn yourself. Let's be real with each other. There is a lot of content out there and you don't exactly know who's qualified and who isn't. So how can you expedite this process and learn the same way that individuals with no prior experience have built 6 and 7 figure sustainable e-commerce brands from complete scratch? That's where option number 2 comes in, and that's my one-on-one mentorship program. With this program, you can learn directly from me through private calls, tech support, and paired with a like-minded buddy and resources from the team that I use for my 7-figure e-commerce brand. I'll guide you through each step to ensure that you don't make the same costly mistakes I did, which did cost me tens of thousands of dollars. And no, I do not hire out coaches to teach you. You'll be joining the calls with only me, and the Discord chat communication is actually going to be with me. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. The truth is 99% of other mentors out there are too focused on scaling their mentorships. They have thousands upon thousands of students in their programs, and they simply hand you off to a coach that they went ahead and hired to teach you. I know this because I have many active students that tell me that they've previously invested in really expensive programs thinking that they would be learning from, their mentor, where in actuality, they just got passed a course along with another mentor or coach who ended up knowing less than them. And from all my experience, I know that that's just not the best way to learn. I work directly with my students to ensure we have a tailored strategy that will help you succeed. And the reason why I can do this is because I am very selective in choosing who I plan to work with and onboard. I want to ensure that our values align before bringing anyone onto the team. Since my time is super limited, the opportunity is not for everyone. So who is this not for? This is not for someone who isn't serious about pursuing the model and doesn't have the willingness to put 100% of their effort. If you expect me to do everything for you, remember this is a mentorship. My goal is to teach you to the point where you eventually don't even need me anymore. Ideally, you'd be doing so well that we'd be able to work on a friend-by-friend basis, sharing tips and different strategies. This is not for you if you can't commit yourself to projects and aren't prepared to take action. And lastly, if you're looking for a free handout, the reason why this is not free, and for some reason people have a hard time understanding this, but just imagine for a moment that I decided to mentor, let's just say, 2 to 3 new students every month without any financial commitment on their part. While these individuals may initially seem driven and motivated during our early calls, there is no concrete commitment that binds them to this process. And the harsh reality is that when individuals invest their hard-earned money into a venture, it does more than just fund the process. It instills this psychological commitment. This monetary investment serves as a beacon of their dedication and seriousness. It's kind of like a subconscious reminder that they put something valuable on the line, which ends up fostering a deeper sense of responsibility. So in essence, when you invest in something, you're not just investing your money, you're investing a piece of yourself, your aspirations, and your future. And so this commitment often translates into perseverance and active involvement and a genuine drive to see results. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. But without this, there's a risk of mediocre participation and a tendency to treat this process as just another temporary interest. So this is not about monetizing an opportunity. It's about ensuring that those who come on board are genuinely invested, not just with their resources, but with their heart and soul. And who is this for? If you're a complete beginner looking for one-on-one guidance where you can ask specific questions and get personalized answers, this is for you. Even if you've already set up a store but need assistance in transforming it into a consistent money-making brand. And if you're someone with a solid work ethic, willing to invest in yourself and aiming to build a long-term sustainable business, this is definitely for you. Now, if all the following resonates with you, I want you to go to the very first link in my description. Click on it and schedule a strategy session where my team and I can get to know you and see if our values align. And from there, we're going to determine whether or not you're a good fit to helping you build an evergreen e-commerce brand using the niche branded dropshipping method. Also note that the availability is extremely limited because I believe in prioritizing quality over quantity. And as a result, I do only take 2 to 3 new students a month. Slots tend to fill up very quickly, and if we reach capacity for the month, you'll need to wait for the next intake to be pre-screened. So I urge you to act sooner than later to secure your opportunity. But for those who may not have the opportunity to work with me directly, I still have some exciting news for you. I've actually collaborated closely with my longtime friend and e-commerce partner, Steven. We started our e-commerce journey at the same time while at university, and his insights were pivotal in shaping my success. So I thought it would only be appropriate for us to create a course together and share our knowledge to as many people as possible with no financial constraints. And we've put it together for you completely free of charge. It's got a bunch of our in-depth step-by-step video tutorials and content. We also got resources in there that are going to be consistently updated to ensure that you guys are staying ahead in the industry. There will also be a community Discord you can participate in where you can get to know one another, network, and we'll also be in there answering questions and doing live calls. To access it, click the second link in the description. Let me know what you think of the video and the free course once you get in. I worked extremely hard to make all this happen, and I'm so excited to meet those of you who opt in for the one-on-one sessions, along with those who decide to join the Discord. I'm rooting for all you guys. Peace.